Welcome to this episode of the Outsiders Podcast. If you're not following us yet, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, we're out there. Probably saying something that gets us in trouble. Want to support the show? Head to outsidersstudios.com. You'll find membership options, merch, and more ways to stay connected to what we're building. Elect Exiles, Brett's podcast, solid theology, clear thinking, and worth your time. Branden's Substack drops twice a week, Mondays and Fridays. It's where he works out what doesn't always fit in an episode. We've got a lot in the pipeline. Stay tuned, and as always, thanks for listening.
Welcome to Outsiders Podcast. I am your pilot today.
This is so much worse.
And to my left.
Much worse. Bryce Armstrong to my front.
Andrew McKinley to my left.
Brett Welty. And to my left,
Cardboard Jim.
He stuck the landing. Get it? Because I was a pilot at the beginning.
Last time he said that, all of our stuff shut off. But we're still
working. We're
still
fine.
working. Okay.
I think I gotta go to the bathroom.
I don't care.
I was kidding.
You've
Bryce, I told you not to take it out.
that's
of me.
too dang
half
bad.
an hour.
I told you not to take it out of me.
You've had a half an hour.
I told you not to take it out.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You want some pina colada?
I'm
Some peanut.
are we going to continue to sit here and not introduce the person that
Oh, yeah.
showed up for the first
We're
time?
not supposed
is
to put
Juan.
our hands in front of people's faces.
I don't understand what the problem is.
Zoom in on
Notes
that
from
shot.
last episode. We have to remember people can see us now.
Yeah.
That's true.
Anyway, so this is not Cardboard Jim.
This is Cardboard Juan.
Hola.
Yes. This is Juan. He is our friend of sorts,
Oh,
right?
you gave me like 6 hours notice. Thanks.
Was it that much?
It was
I was like
Yeah,
a
three and a half.
couple. It was like three,
3.5.
maybe.
Yeah. You'll notice Jim is not here because he's not feeling good. And so we were like, hey, Juan, we're doing an episode about something, and you are a person that knows something. So
Right.
let's bring him in.
They won't.
And Juan was cool, and he's like, yeah, dude, let's do it.
They won't know what we're talking about per the title.
Yeah, I know.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, that's true. When
Actually,
this comes
yes,
out-
they will, because they're going to click on it, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, this
It's
is
going to have
about...
a title, yeah.
They're already going to know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's how it works.
Internet.
We don't know what it is yet.
We could blur out the
Because we
title.
don't prepare, but like
Wait.
Who's we?
Yeah.
everyone around this table.
I like how you.
I didn't prepare.
I can't
supposed to
I can't speak for you. I actually moderately prepare.
I
did both.
cannot handle that we've not let Juan introduce himself.
Oh, yeah,
properly.
Juan.
It is driving me nuts.
So tell us just a little tiny bit about yourself.
Thank you.
So I am Juan Munoz. I am a chiropractor in Sioux City, Iowa. I've owned that business for, it'll be 11 years this March. And then I owned a restaurant for a few years. So I had both of them going for a little while. So a little entrepreneur. And I have a family. We have 2 little kids. Bianna's 3, going to be 4. And Beckett's 1, going to be 2. And my beautiful wife, Riley. We have a nice little acreage just outside of town. And had some of the guys out there this morning helping me move my pigs.
It was so much fun.
Helping is a strong,
Yeah, we were there. Brett and I were there.
strong word.
We
Couldn't have done it without you.
yeah. I shut a door.
Yeah, but it was the door.
I shut a
was
door
the-
apparently almost on your brother's head.
Yeah, that was close. I don't think he
That
cared.
had to
about
happen though. The pig was getting out.
it. He did not care.
All I heard was hurry up and shut the door. That's all I was like, okay.
Brent almost lost a finger.
Yeah, I got pinched in between a door and a gigantic sow. It hurt for a long time.
You're not gonna be able to play guitar.
Well, then I started mule kicking that one.
Did you really?
I put my foot on the front of the bucket and I just kicked back because I was trying to push it in there. Once I
Oh,
got
is that
my foot.
how the bucket broke?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, that bucket broke.
Yeah.
Dude, it was gone.
Good go.
It was a good time.
That's true.
Great time.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey
Anyway,
Andrew,
Yo,
do you have something for us?
I do.
My one note, by the way,
And he
for
broke
everyone,
He
for everyone,
broke it.
for everyone involved. My one note to everyone was: don't put your hand in front of other people's faces. And
We've been doing a great job so far.
We're doing a bad job.
All right.
My face doesn't need to be seen.
I agree.
So
Blur me out.
Just kidding.
Change my voice.
If I had time and patience, I would absolutely do that.
all right. Today we're going to be talking about interesting jobs. And you guys are going to be guessing the approximate annual salary for these jobs.
All right.
Nice.
Chiropractor?
Not on the list.
Oh, I knew that one.
Not on the list. It'd be funny if like you give an answer, we're like, no, that's way low. And you're like, really?
Oh, man. He owns his own business. He sets his own prices.
It's like, I could have been making so
He
much
also gives
more.
it all away for free
Yeah, for real.
because he's nice.
Because he's a great guy.
All right. First job on the list. Paranormal guide.
Ooh.
I have a neighbor.
This is real.
So this one,
We could
it's-
ask.
It's not a salaried job usually, so you can guess the hourly wage.
$200 an hour.
I bet you that's low.
His face made me seem like I was real close.
$2.50.
$1.
$1, Bob.
Averaging $30 to $40 per hour.
Oh, my.
Oh, wow.
I was
Yeah.
way off.
Oh.
They can barely feed a family.
I'm still also upset with how much they make because it should be less.
It should be less.
I should do that.
No offense to all the paranormal
No.
guys that watch us, but
No, no.
yes,
Offense.
all the offense too.
It's fine.
You are
We don't.
charlatans and fakes. All right. Next job opportunity here's snake milker.
Oh, like
Is that for
to their,
venom?
their
Venom.
fangs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for knowing that
No,
snakes
it's
don't
its
produce
udders.
milk. Thank you for knowing they're not.
That's a
mammals.
really dangerous job.
It is a dangerous job. So much so that this is the only job on the list that gave a per month payment because I'm worried that maybe they don't go very long after that.
I would say $6,000 a month.
All right.
Yeah, I would say, probably $6,000.
$7,000 a month.
We're all just a little north. It's $2,000 to $5,000 a month. You got to think a lot of them are probably in Australia, where people really aren't as worried about the snake bites as they are here, because it's just kind of the day to day.
That is straight up wild.
Yes.
I'll have to take that snake over there and milk it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't touch that, all right?
That's a really good Australian.
That's pretty good.
It's going to bite you.
Next job on the list: dog food taster.
No! No!
Yes.
No.
Dream job.
Okay, so don't act like when you see those commercials, they take it out of the tin can and they put it in the little dish. You're like, I bet it looks pretty good.
Man, that feast's looking pretty fancy right now.
Fancy feast.
That's cat food. Still, no. What are you talking about? None of that sounds good.
You know what I learned about dog food in a can? It's delicious.
Tastes like spam.
Oh.
So,
Did you try it? No. How much did you get paid?
Yeah, give us an idea.
so this one is a yearly salaried position. If you want to,
$45,000 a
Oh
year.
man, that was exactly right.
Seriously?
Yeah, 45,000.
That is not enough money.
That is the annual,
to do that
the
job.
I think
average
it is.
annual salary.
That is stupid.
So most of the time, they're not actually
Agreed.
testing for taste so much as for nutritional value, but sometimes they do have to actually eat it in order to figure stuff out. Occasionally,
Did you say taster or tester?
taster
Okay, whatever.
with an A. Yeah,
So I don't understand how they're not tasting it for taste. What do you mean nutrient? Anyway, whatever. I don't want to talk about it.
That's the description here.
Yeah, well, the internet.
Taste.
All right, the next job is you're guessing the per hour feng shui consultant.
Ooh, $45 an hour.
Oh, more than that, dude.
No, well, maybe.
Oh, no, his face made me sick.
Depends on. I would guess this depends a lot on where you live and how.
Who's not doing this? Or who's doing this outside of New York City and LA?
Right.
Whoa.
All of Asia.
That's a
Gross.
yes.
Never
right.
feng shui
He's
can-
100% right.
You are correct.
So do we got to do this in rubles? No, yen.
We're
Yes,
still
yes,
we're
you're
still going to the American dollar here.
I love that you
Sure.
took that question seriously.
$50 an hour.
I'm gonna go 20.
So the 50 was the low end. Up to $400 per hour.
Nah.
Pretty important job.
See, that's where I was gonna go.
Again, I'm in the
And
wrong
then your
business.
face was like, "Oh yeah, four feet."
Yeah,
Sioux
why-
City, you're not.
What are you doing trusting my face?
I trust everyone, unfortunately.
But only in the face.
I trust everyone's face until I have to milk that snake.
You were worried that he's going to do Joe Biden, though.
I know, Australian.
Okay, I've been doing Australian accent like all night to my son. So
Which one?
Gideon, he kept moving the cart. I'm like, all right, you're gonna have to move it this way. All right. He kept getting mad at me about it.
Oh, that makes it even better.
That is better, yeah. All right. Scent and odor sniffer.
What are they
That was
smelling?
three.
What are they smelling?
So the job is pretty broad. There's it could be anything from like bathroom products, deodorants, shampoos, things like that.
My wife does this for free.
I would be terrible at this job.
Some more specialized jobs include like going to places where it's like, we need to know why this place isn't safe. Can you smell what's going on in here? And there are people that can do that.
That's amazing.
That's a real job.
This is an hourly rate?
This is hourly. Yes, hourly.
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 This is the
Hourly.
hourly rate.
How are we?
Hourly.
120.
How did that one make you feel?
$200.
Ooh, interesting.
121. What I did there?
I didn't think this was supposed to be priced
Price is right.
$75.
closer. It is $48 per hour.
Huh.
It's the average. Apparently, a lot of people got that nose.
Oh.
Don't they offer that as a degree program at BYU?
I think you're thinking NYU.
That's what I meant. What did I say? Oh, I got the wrong letter. I did mean to say NYU, actually. That's lame.
Did you? Oh, I thought you were just doing like the thing you do to Andrew all the time, and you said the wrong letter on purpose.
Oh, that feels right. Let's go with that.
Sure,
I do
I'm
like
just
to do
being
that to
clever.
Andrew. I do like to do that to Andrew.
Yeah, I know.
All right, go ahead.
Professional cuddler.
Oh, I watched a documentary on this. They're weird.
It's sad that's a real job.
I'll pay somebody $20 an hour to tell me the professional cuddler that took care of David at the end of his life.
What?
Who?
David.
Oh,
She
oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
had a professional cuddler.
Wait, for real?
I don't think she got paid.
I don't know if she's named though.
$80 an hour.
Is this an hourly or okay?
What did you say?
80.
250.
That's funny.
It depends on the market, right?
What did you say?
250.
What did you say?
80.
$150 an hour, Ken.
10.
So
10
Bryce
shekels.
Bryce hit the top end, $80, $40 to $80 an hour.
Wow.
Again, I watched the document.
Minimum 8 hours.
Minimum 8 hours.
Gotta sleep.
He's petting me.
I'm being a professional cuddler.
This is not cuddling. This is petting. I am not a dog.
Pat, 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 pat.
All right. Professional mourner.
Are you hiring people to go to funerals?
Yes.
That's weird.
I think they say that used to be something during Jesus' day.
Yeah, the whalers, the whaling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Still a thing.
Wow.
Well, to quote Zoolander, I bet you didn't realize how good of a Googleizer I was.
What a great movie.
What? I don't even remember that line.
He does the eulogy for whoever passes. He goes, I bet you didn't realize how good of a Googleizer I was. I'd say a professional mourner makes $20 a day.
A day?
A day?
So yeah, we're doing per event. So
Per event?
Oh, okay.
Why else did you
same
do
thing,
it?
same
50
thing,
bucks.
yeah.
Yeah, $50 per event.
I'm an actor.
Yeah.
I act like I'm
That is
sad.
actually like the most common person taking this job are like actors who are trying to get started. $30 to $120 per event.
Oh.
$120.
For $30, you're not getting matching black, though. Like 2 different blacks. And no crying.
Why is he wearing all white to the funeral?
I remember
I think
this-
I'm thinking wedding.
This guy posted an ad for doing that, and he had like rates for different like levels of service, and like jump in the grave with you was like, and,
Oh
like,
my word.
and scream was like $180, and then there's what was it afterwards? It was like Cambodian holler or something like that was the last one, and it was like $300.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Cambodia.
All right, kind of not the same vibe, but just on the other side of the coin. Professional bridesmaid.
Hey, I don't have any friends. Will you be my bridesmaid? Is this what they do?
They made a movie about it.
No, what? No,
Not a documentary.
The movie. Talking about 27 dresses
Wow, that's really lame that you know that.
because those were all her friends.
Well, I don't know. I've never seen the movie.
You're a liar. You've seen it.
Who has 27 friends outside of high school? Like,
Yeah.
it's not real.
I don't even know if I've
Right.
been to 20.
It was a miracle that Jesus got
Is she
12
back?
guys to have their schedules line up. Like,
That's true.
Well,
They told them what to do because they listened. Okay, so I'm going to say $300 an event.
sure.
$500.
$120.
Plus, you're buying my dress.
Yeah.
so this one's actually per hour, but so I'm trying to think of like how much that would be. So if the bridesmaids are doing stuff at like the rehearsal dinner and like like are they helping with wedding prep?
I
and
didn't
stuff?
catch that right away. I was like, why is he getting so close to my face?
It depends on if like you're the kind of bridesmaid that helps decorate or not. So like maybe you could get up to 500 if you're like. But
What is
the normal hourly rate is $21 per hour.
Oh, that's like minimum wage.
In
In,
what state?
Montana.
In California, probably.
So the average is $21 per hour, but there are a few that are so good that they get $2,500 per event.
Oh my
Yeah.
word!
Because they're like famously good as bridesmaids. I don't know
Yes.
how you do that, but all right.
My life's falling apart.
You
but your
always
wedding
do
is beautiful.
You always do the dance. I mean, you're a hype woman. That's
Yeah.
what I think.
We are on our second episode about good work. Last episode, we talked about fatherhood, and this week we're going to talk about just work, and that's why we got our buddy Juan on here. But let's start getting to these notes. So, work is often viewed as a necessity or a burden. Many feel trapped in repetitive, meaningless tasks or stressed by pressures, even like in deadlines. But the Bible frames work as a sacred calling, a means of worship, service, and of witness. And so Ephesians 2:10 says, "For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them." And so our work flows from God's grace, not as a way to earn favor. God designs our abilities, our gifts, and our labor for his glory. And good work is not optional. It is part of walking in the good works of God, prepared for us. So before we get too deep into the weeds of work, what is work for all of us? What does that look like?
It's effort exerted for a goal, usually.
Mm-hmm.
So
The word work, so where we get the word vocation, which is Latin for calling. So if you were to go back, like at the time of the Reformation, when the Protestant church is coming into being, you've got guys like Martin Luther that are talking about how work and vocation, a calling is not just to ministry, but it's whatever you're called to do is a vocation of work that is meant to be done as a calling. And so I would then think we would want to say that our work is a means by which we honor God and fulfill the creation mandate to take dominion over the earth and to do what we've set out to do from the beginning, which the Lord put us in the garden, or put Adam and Eve in the garden, and they worked in the garden. So work is not a product of the fall. We do see from the fall that it is harder, and it does create a lot of difficulty for us in our lives, but it is, at its core, it is a good thing. It's a God glorifying thing, and it's something that we should be doing through the lens of, as Christians, we should be pursuing our vocation and in a way that honors God, because it's a vital part of what it means to be a Christian. Unlike any other man-made religion, I was just reading this week that the way the Greeks understood the world was that in the beginning, all of the gods lived on earth and they made humans so they had someone to do all the work. And so the view in that culture is that work is evil. It's something that gods and other people don't have to do. So if we have to do it, it means that we're of lesser quality. Whereas I would say God puts tremendous dignity in work. He actually bakes it into the cake of creation. So we're called to be workers in the kingdom. And that's a dignifying thing. So whether you are a janitor or a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, equal work or equal dignity is given, because no matter what we are tasked with doing, we are called to do it to the glory of God. So that's how I would define work in one way anyway.
And I think the biggest reason why we should define work and we should like kind of explain this and figure it out is because there has been a misconception of work is because of the result of the fall. But just like you said, it seems like we've been cultivating what we're supposed to be doing this earth since the beginning, right? And God gave us a mandate to do that as an act of worship towards Him, to remember Him. So even though, yes, work can be burdensome, work can be hard, ultimately, if we are believers, if we follow Jesus, it's an act of worship and remembrance, right? And so like Ephesians 2:8-10 anchors the theology of work. Salvation is by grace, it's not by works, and yet we are created to live out good works. And so 1 Thessalonians 4:11-12 provides a practical guidance. So it says, and to aspire to live quietly, and to mind your own affairs, and to work with your hands, so that you may walk properly before outsiders and be dependent on no one. So what we're seeing here is that the first thing people see is probably our work ethic, right? Is he lazy? Is he hustling? Is he one of those guys that just never stops? Is he a guy that complains? Is he someone that's calling in a lot? And like that usually can give us an idea of who someone is, at least from the world's standpoint, right? And so, yeah, our work can be a first door to go through to bear witness to salvation to others, right? So how do we steward our work well, knowing that we are on a mission from God to make disciples and go out into the world?
What was the question?
I don't remember.
I feel like as you were ending, I was like, that's a question, but I didn't catch the front of it.
So it's like, how can we reflect God like in the quality of our work? And should that be a thing?
100%.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, what we do matters. How we present the work that we're doing is a reflection of Christ in us. If we're doing crappy work because we're just being lazy, that doesn't reflect Christ at all. It's just you just being a lazy pile. So work heartily for the glory of the Lord and represent Him well.
What is knowing that the quality of your work reflects what people might see of God too?
It might be the only way they see the Lord.
You're not the person that's complaining all the time. And you're not you're not calling in all the time. You're showing up and you're doing the job well. I think it matters, especially now if we live in a more entitled culture where it's like, you need to give me like 6 digits and I haven't even proved that I can actually even do the job. There's some sort of I am entitled to this. You need to give this to me.
That sounds like a quote I read from, so Tim Keller wrote a book called Every Good Endeavor, which is about faith and work. And he says one of the second ways that we misunderstand work is that we believe that lower status or lower paying work is an assault on our dignity. And that result is in the belief that many people take jobs that they're not suited for at all, choosing to aim for careers that do not fit their gifts but promise higher wages and prestige. So we end up saying, I can't take that job because the pay is too low, or worse, it's an assault on my dignity. I wouldn't be caught dead doing this job. And so we might go after a job that doesn't fit, we're not a good fit for. We don't produce good work, but we do it because it gives us more of what we think we want, which is the goal of work is that it's a necessary evil to help us make enough money so we can support our families and pay other people to do the work we don't want to do. And I think all of that is just missing the point of why we have work. And that, I heard someone say one time, like, never complain about having a kitchen to clean because someone doesn't have a kitchen and they would love to clean it. And I get that, but I think that is true on one level, but I think we have to take it higher than that. We have to say, and that's because work is a gift, and it is our job to take disorder and put it into order. That's essentially what work is. When God says to take dominion, is this world is unraveling, there's disorder, there's sales that need to be done, there's adjustments that need to be made, there's stuff that breaks. And as I'm just looking around the table and thinking about what you guys all do, like, you guys are taking the chaos, the fraying of creation, and you're bringing it back to order. That's what we do when we work. God is orderly. God is not a God of chaos. And yes, the world is unraveling generally, and we're waiting for the new creation. But until then, like, it's our job to go out and put it back till we're done. I think. I don't know. That's one thought.
Well, I think there's a misconception on the kingdom to come as well, because I think there's a group of people that think that we're just going to be resting, we're going to be not doing anything productive, but it just seems like we're going to be doing what we're doing now in a perfected state in God's presence. Like, we will be doing work, we'll be cultivating this earth still, but we won't be toiling, we won't be sore, it'll be good work, right?
Yeah, I mean, back to what Brett said, in the garden, there was work. It's nothing new. It's not because of the fall. It's because the Lord said this work is good, so we've been put here to work, so why would it not continue?
Yeah. And you get to work. Yes, you have to work to live, but as a believer, you get to work. It is a privilege to be able to go and work and go clock in, however that looks for you, and you get to do something. Like, there's something to do. That's good.
That's important for us. That's something you notice with, like, people who retire. They get bored pretty quick. And I remember when, before my dad passed away, the last couple of years of his life, he was involved in a program we have locally called PACE. I don't know if that's an international or national, or if that's just around here kind of a thing, but it basically, he had scheduled hours that he'd go in and just, like, is kind of a senior center thing. They're just activities he'd take part in, and he just had some time in, like, a computer lab with, like, a easy keyboard to use and big screen and stuff like that. And it brought a little more life back into him for a couple of years to have a regular, 3 times a week kind of scheduled to go in and do something, and to have people wonder if he didn't show up and be like, hey, where were you at? And, like, it wasn't a job. It wasn't anything that, like, he had a real responsibility, but just having that routine, having that regularity and something to do, it was good for him. And I think that's the same for all of us. Like, if we, everyone thinks about, like, if that, if I won the lottery and I didn't ever have to work again, what would I do? No one ever thinks I wouldn't do anything. It's like, that's just not even an option.
No, if I won the lottery,
I wouldn't do nothing.
No, if I won the lottery, I wouldn't even tell anyone I work with. I'd go back to work.
Nice.
I mean, you asked me 10 years ago, I probably would have said, yeah, I'm quitting my job and I'm never going back. But now I enjoy what I do. So, yeah.
Well, how can we motivate people to do faithful work? Talk about it real quick. So Paul reminds us that grace is the driving force. So God's love compels us to love others, which we can find in 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 9. Grace produces in us a compulsion to honor God, to please Him, and to serve others through our work. So in 1 Peter 2:18 through 19, it says, servants, Be subject to your masters with all respect, not only to the good and gentle, but also to the unjust. For this is a gracious thing when mindful of God. One endures sorrows while suffering unjustly. So most of us will work for someone, and how we treat them matters to our witness. So people should see Christ in the way that we work and the quality of our work. So if you are treated unjustly, and you remember that God sees your struggle and that you are not alone, and pray for the boss or the supervisor who is treating you unfairly.
In this case, Juan.
I've never had a boss.
Really?
Yeah.
You are the boss. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like most of us, I think all of us have worked for someone at some point, right? And so, right?
Juan has never had a boss.
I've never had a boss.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, well, you're out of this one. I'm joking. That's good. You're in the next part. So for us that have had a boss, like, I know for me personally, never handled it well.
Never?
No, like I can really admit that just I felt like I could grieve because I always felt slighted, right? Because there's just this weird cultural mentality of here's this person up here, and it's my job as this underdog to just see all the bad stuff that this person that hired me to do a job does, right? Like you and I have talked about who for years, right? And I look back at that stint of my life. I made so many excuses to just be a crappy worker and complain to everyone I could find about this manager. Yeah, I could say it was justified in some ways, but the first thing I didn't think of was to pray for him, right? Or to be kind to him, not consider what maybe he's going through. It was like, you slighted me. You're a big, mean manager. I'm going to talk trash about you to everybody I can find. That's not what we're supposed to be doing here. I'm going to let my quality of work go lower because I'm not getting paid enough or something like that. Right? That's not how we're supposed to act, especially if we're claiming to be believers.
I think so. The original question you asked was, how do we motivate people to work well? And I think one way we can do that is to have a bigger view of our work, and then also see it for what it is. It's not like, well, let me say it like this. It was said to me this way: there are no fulfilling jobs. There's only a fulfilling savior. So there's no fulfilling jobs, only a fulfilling savior. And so though work is important, and though I think work is given from God, and work is a crucible where we learn sanctification, and it's a place where we go to do what we're supposed to do because God tells us to. But if we go into this ditch of it defines me, it is who I am. When you ask me who I am what? What am I if you ask me who I am? Well, most guys will say their profession. They will say, I am, for years I was a salesman, right? I'm a salesman. And I think we need to better understand that though our work is important, we have to hold these things together. At the end of the day, I'm never going to get as far, be as successful, or accomplish as much as I think I might want to, or I think that I'm able to, or I think that I deserve to. And we just need to go back to the book of Ecclesiastes and say, it doesn't matter how much you build, you're going to leave it for somebody else. And so I think when we think about our work, let's not also go into the ditch of thinking, well, this is just the most important thing I've ever done. It defines me. And if I start a business and it fails, or if I'm a lawyer or a doctor or whatever, and I don't cure cancer, I don't litigate before the Supreme Court. We set these lofty goals and we think if I don't get to these things, I will be a failure. And I don't think that's how God sees work. I don't think that's how God sees our work. And we shouldn't see our work that way. We should realize that our vocation, so around this table, we all have a job. We're all husbands, we're all dads, and there's all other spheres in which we have calling, vocation, It's all work. We work all the time. And all work is important work. When you're a dad, that's important work. Your husband's important work. You run a business, it's important work. And so, but it doesn't mean that we should see it as the defining factor of our lives. And I think, so then how do we motivate people? As we say, it's important and it's not defining all at the same time. Do it to the best of your ability, because you quoted that, but then the end of it says, because your reward, your inheritance comes in heaven. So don't expect great work to always mean that you're going to, get more money, get more status, get more whatever. See it as, I'm going to do this work because it's the right work to do. I'm going to do it in the right proportion because I have other vocations I'm called to do. And I'm going to leave the results and the legacy to God. And I can just freely do what he's called me to do and love him and just do what I can. Someone just asked me this the other day. I'm talking a lot, so someone else can jump in. But just the other day, someone asked me, what was it like having all those jobs you hated? And I said, I've never hated a job. I'm very content. Whether I was working here or working there or whatever, I was just happy to work. And my goal was just to do a good job. If you're going to have me manage a trucking company, or if you're going to have me sell for this company, I just want to be the best I can. I want to leave it better than I found it. That's what I've always said about. I just want to leave this job better than I found it. And I think that's hopefully, Lord willing, what we're trying to say here is leave your job better than you found it. That's the best you're going to do.
No, not to toot my own horn, but I have a lot of employees that say that this is the best job they ever had. And I think a lot of it is because the mindset, your mindset isn't about the job. Your mindset's bigger than that, and serving the Lord. And that's what we do at our office. It's about serving the person that's there in front of us, and serving our community. And yeah, we're a front desk assistant, or we're a chiropractor, or we're a technician in the technologies. But ultimately, we're serving the community, and that's the higher purpose that we have. And we all, get around that. And I think that's why it never really becomes a job, because it's always more of a purpose than anything.
How do you get your employees to buy into that if they're not all believers?
Well, we try and hire believers.
Well, I get that. But we know that might not always be the case. And
yeah,
you ran a restaurant. You can't tell me you hired all.
Yeah, I think it's in the culture already. It's already built in there. So from the very beginning, we pray together. I talk about Jesus a lot. They see me pray with patients, and it's just in the building all the time, and just foundationally set. I think the restaurant was way harder because there we had people that definitely weren't believers. Coming out of homelessness and drug use to come and be cooks and stuff. So that was, I tried to lead by example. I did the hard jobs and try to do the things that really they didn't even want to do in here. I am the boss doing them. A doctor, no less, doing the cleaning under the dirty tables with a rag. But I think, that leading by example was really big. And then I really took that as my mission there, is I want to serve Christ by serving the people here. And then just always looking for where I could do that, whether it was the people eating there or all the homelessness that was around downtown. That's where the Feed It Forward program started. We just saw it. If you see, if you're looking for ways to serve God in your work, or looking for ways to serve him in just life, they come up. You find them. I think it's a mindset, clearly, all the time, you just have to have the right mindset, and things just come.
That's awesome. I was just going to, something you said reminded me of something that I read this week, so maybe you've heard the phrase God's providence, which just comes from God providing. And you could make a real argument that God's providence comes through people doing their work. God doesn't just typically zap us or just drop things out of the sky into our lap. I was reading this Tim Keller book is really good. I read another one by a guy named Veith. I don't know, it was really good. But either one of them said something to the effect of, I was healed today by God. How were you healed? Well, I called the doctor. I went in, they diagnosed me. The pharmacist gave me the right medicine, and I was healed from my fever. That's a real use of God's providence.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real way of God showing up and providing for me for what I need. And so what's interesting, I think this is what I think is fascinating about work, is you're doing it, Juan, from a biblical worldview, your chiropractic, especially there, you're praying with people, you're serving them, you're doing it for great reasons. I could go to the chiropractic place next door and they're doing it just for money. But it's just fascinating to me that like even in that God can provide. Like there are tons of people that go to an unbelieving chiropractor that get good care. And I can just think it's just to see how God orchestrates providence, providing for us through believing businesses, through unbelieving businesses, he provides. And I just think that is so fascinating. And it means that we can really take this work thing and do it to the glory of God because we're providing. We get to be part of God's providence, providing for his creation, which is just incredible. I don't know. I just think it's fascinating.
I think it's like a big reason why I've felt the need to like understand work because I just did not have a good, healthy view of it at all. I just found it as burdensome. It wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to do this, but it never came that way. But I'm like, well, maybe God didn't want me there. And I needed to be okay with that. But I get to live. And now I'm like, I feel like God opened up. I look back and I'm like, man, God, you provided a job for me and my family because you called us to do certain things with our life and to form our family life in a certain way. And you kept providing for that life that you asked us to do. And I see that now with the current job I just took. Like I saw the doors open because I was like, okay, God, you wanted me to walk through this, so I'm going to walk through it. And yeah, it's scary. It scares me because it's like, yeah, I'm dying to something that I really wanted at one point in time, which is okay. But you're making something new. And I want to be a part of that. And I want to see what you do through that. And so I just like, I want my boys and my daughter too to have a good view of work, of when they get into the job, if they get a job and they want to be in the job market in the field, that they work well. And they're like, because God gave you this job. He provided for you. Now do it really well because we're worshiping. We're glorifying God with what we do. It's not bad. Yes, the environment's going to suck sometimes. But God is there with you. He's there in the trenches with you while you're doing the work. And just remembering that everything's a gift.
So I have a question. So I think it was Andrew that made the comment, if you win the lottery, what would you then do? And that's like a way that a lot of like guidance counselors say, okay, if you could do anything you wanted because money was handled, what would you do? That's your quote unquote dream job. Should we be pursuing dream jobs? Or is that just an American dream lie? I mean, what should a Christian think about pursuing a quote unquote dream job?
Can't answer that.
That's a hard one to answer because the Lord has you where he has you for a reason, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't plan for you to have your quote unquote dream job down the road, and doesn't mean you shouldn't pursue that because if you have the ability to pursue it and opportunities arise, cool. But like, I don't know. It's a really interesting question, but like the Lord has people where he has them for a reason. And I think that's far more important than.
Yeah. So then maybe the question is, should we even talk like that as Christians? Or is that like an unchristian, not, again, we don't want to be the language police, but is that kind of heart attitude of, I'm just buying my time until I get the job that I love? Is that even the kind of language we should be thinking about?
I don't think I'd ever phrase it like that.
Okay.
I think I'd phrase it more like, man, it'd be really sweet if I had this kind of job.
Sure.
Again,
that makes sense to me.
I love the job I have. So like,
yeah.
I would never say like, this is my quote unquote dream job, but like, I do love my job. But I don't know. That's a great question. Maybe if I hated my job, it would be different.
It's funny how circumstances.
I don't know.
It's like anything else. Just don't let it become an idol.
Yeah.
Don't love it so much it becomes a demon,
Yeah.
Like let it be something that you pursue, but don't let it be something that you like burn down other parts of your life to get to and hurt others that you love to get to it or to achieve it. So just approach it with wisdom.
Approach it with seeking the Lord, because without him, you can't do nothing.
We all have some sort of gifting that God has given us all, and I think that's in our minds when we're looking for work. I think,
Do not set me off on gifting.
Go.
I think it is absolutely criminal that we have countless Christians that use their gift far more effectively outside of the church than in it.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
I think God gives you a gift to serve the body of Christ first, and then outside of that, that cooks me real bad when it's like people are really good administrators, or they're good with money, or they're good at this other thing, and they take it and they make their millions and they never use it for its intended purpose, whatever. I mean, it's not everybody, but like when that happens, it can be very, very frustrating.
While you're saying that, like, I'm thinking about what Juan does. If you Juan has a chiropractic bed in the back of our church.
We should hang a shingle.
We should
hang a shingle.
It's my second clinic.
And he will adjust anyone for free at our church because he said it a million times.
Unless you hear this and you go to our church, then it's $20.
Yeah.
I got you, bro. I got you, bro.
Sorry. No, but he said you could talk about this all you want, but like I admire your approach to this. I benefit from it. So like, it's amazing for me.
I want to know, because I think you're doing what you went to school for. It would seem to me that you're doing something that you love. How do you keep it from being? I mean, you're probably, of all of us here, the closest to having your dream job.
As you guys asked that question, I was unsatisfied with my job probably 3 to 5 years in. That's why the restaurant even came about. And I was really stuck in a kind of a hard place between two businesses and what I wanted to do. And the question shouldn't be, what is my dream job? Because that's our mindset. Shouldn't be looking for the dream job. It should be looking for God honoring ways in our life, and even in whatever job that we're in. And my job that I have as a chiropractor now is my dream job, but it wasn't until I went through that hard season, and I really wanted to choose the restaurant and give up chiropractic and just do the chiropractic, or just do the restaurant business and go after that passion, because I thought it was just more fun and exciting and just new. And I'm so glad that God brought me through that and just changed everything, because I'm at such a peace, like in such a place of peace at work and with my family, and just focusing on the right things. And I think that's the first thing. Is priority is God first, seeking the kingdom, and then a lot of the other stuff is really lined up. And I want to take care of my church family as much as possible, and any advice that I can give and getting them adjusted. Like, it's really important to me that they're well taken care of, and if they they can't pay for it, or they they don't know who to go to. Like, I love being that first person for my church. And it's not something I ever thought that I would ever do. Giving away a lot of chiropractic care at church, like, it's never bothered me at all. At all. I think that's a gift from the Lord.
100%.
And for the record, if anybody listens that goes to our church, I got a dream job too. Okay, like I don't mean to imply that. Like, as you were talking and what I said to lead into that, I'm like, well, I should probably at least caveat that.
Yeah.
I get to do my dream job for free.
There you go.
Yeah.
All of life can be ministry, right? We're all ministering in some way to somebody. And how do we represent Christ well while doing that, while having that in mind, right? Like say my personal ministry, like I'm in the water technician pre-treatment field. And so like water's important. Right?
Yeah, it is. Without it, you die.
Yeah. So I was just thinking, like, but then the company I'm with now has this crap ton of believers in it. And that's what I'm like, that's one of the things I asked for. I was like, God, I want to work somewhere where I feel I'm doing something purposeful. I'm working with Christians, but I'm also serving the people outside of the church and being able to interact with people outside of the church to like hopefully represent you well. And look what happened. And then it just happened. And so I was like, okay, like that I need to steward what the gift that God has given me well, instead of thinking about something else behind in the back of my head, right? Like, I can still learn the Bible. I can still volunteer at our church doing music. and still do this other thing, and it can all be good. It doesn't all have to be like compartmentalized, right? Like it's not, I'm waiting for this. I'm like, no, just keep your head forward. Disciple your wife and your kids and do your job well. Go to church and give everything you can with your church because it's good, and you're serving somebody else, and put yourself down a little bit more. You're not that important. You're not that cool. So it's like, remember that there's other people. And I love that about Juan. That's one of the biggest things I've thought of. I'm like, man, I want to be like that. I want to be like, just give and not ask for anything in return. And I think that's the mentality that we should have as managers, business owners, employees, volunteers. Like, hey, I get to do this because there might be someday that I can't do this anymore. Right? There probably will be a day that you cannot do it anymore because your body might not let you. And don't waste time complaining and thinking of something else or being somewhere else and not look at what's in front of you.
You gave me a really good book that really like changed my mindset and on all these things about work, because my dad was like just such a workaholic, and like as many hours you can fit in a week, you should be working. But that ruthless elimination of hurry for John Mark Comer, just like that really changed me, because it just changed my mindset. Like if you're going up to, in the book he talks about this analogy, if you're going up to a red light, like do you pick the lane that has less cars when it doesn't really speed up your trip, or do you just pick the lane you're already in? And it's a mindset. And if you can just change that mindset and just be at peace with where you are, like you just see more things, and you're just aware of more, and you're able to serve more, and just not have that hurry is a big thing.
Yeah. And like, I think you've said it before, Brett, like there's always an opportunity to serve somebody at your church. There's always going to be someone that needs something. Big church, small church. Like we're a smaller church. And there's always something to do. There's always somewhere you can give yourself and your time. And that is a good thing. You don't need to be like paid on staff to serve somebody else. I think there's this weird mentality of like, well, it's not my problem because I don't do in the mercy department or something like that, right? I'm in the worship department.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
No,
You're in the
Not at all.
everything department because Christ has called you to serve people.
yes. And we forget that.
It's true.
Or like, let's just leave it to the pastor to do those things.
Yeah, that's your job, right?
Yeah, sure.
You know?
You're right to it.
I'm like, that's silly, right?
So I think while we're talking, and I'm thinking about like guardrails, the other thing I would say is like holy ambition and holy discontentment is also not something that needs to be taken off the table, right? So I think one interesting byproduct of living like this is that often you set yourself apart in the workplace. If you're courteous, if you really want to follow God's law, which is love Him and love your neighbor, and you're being diligent, you're working hard, you're doing it to the glory of God. Oftentimes, a secondary byproduct is promotions or more income or whatever. And I think it's okay to want to improve your career, improve your state and your status. I think those things are okay when they don't become the end goal. I think a very good byproduct of being a Christian in the workplace is success, but it's not guaranteed. But that's the other thing. When you brought this topic up, I went out looking for more resources to read and to listen to, I'm blanking on the guy's name, but he talked about how the other piece of working for the kingdom is it's okay to work hard for the kingdom. What I like about Ruthless Elimination of Hurry and books like that is that it shouldn't control you. It shouldn't be the only thing you ever do. But like when you're in that mode, when you're in that work mode, do it with some gusto. Like do it. Don't just punch the clock for 8 hours. Give what you got for 8. And if you got to stay this time for 9 because something needed to get done, unashamedly and unapologetically work hard and do it. And let your kids see you do it. It's okay. Like, what do we teach our kids if we say the only thing keeping me from you is work? No. Come see me work. This is what God created us to do. This is what you're going to grow up and do. You're going to work. So let's glorify God and do it right and come home tired because we did the work and that glorifies God too. So we don't want to give off this vibe of like laissez-faire, like it's just no big deal, and we just there are other things that are more important than work. Yes, but we have to give it what we need to give it, which is all that we can give it in the time and in the frame in which it is meant to be given.
I think it's interesting you brought up Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, because 2 books after that was Practicing the Way. That's doing something. That's aligning your life to look like sanctification and holiness. That's doing something. You have to do things. You're not earning, but there's a practicality to walking the way.
Break a sweat in your faith.
Yeah.
No, one thing I would say though is you can't come home too tired because there's still dishes to do when you get home.
Yes.
But guess what? God gives you grace for that. Like,
Yeah.
you can walk in tired and get a second win. That's what God gives second wins. There's nothing logical about a second wind. Where does that even come from the Lord? Like, that's just a gift from the Lord. He's like, dude, you got 5 kids. You're toast. Well, I'll give you a little bit of boost.
Well, that's like
6:30.
to bring it up
Or
too.
coffee.
Like when you say the dishes thing, that goes back to like serving your wife, which is work.
Yeah.
And showing your kids how to treat your wife. We talked about kids last time.
Spoiler alert.
Like
We're
being
going to do husbands
well, yeah.
next time.
Like being a father, like you're showing your son how to treat a woman.
Yeah.
When you come home and you sacrifice, even though you have
You're showing your daughter what kind of man to look for.
Yeah.
all of it. And it's like, it all comes back and like, yes, it's work. Life is work. You're going to like be tired. You're going to be sore. Like body parts aren't going to work at some point in time. Right. But then you're like, man, I got to, like, God gave me all this thing. All of what I have, it's all from God. And so help me to steward it. Steward it well to the best of my ability. Help me to go to work and be a witness. I want people to see Jesus. I want people to know Jesus. That's the biggest thing. And yeah, God, you're giving me like technical skills too. You're giving me different knowledge that I might not have had, but it's from you because it's all yours. All the knowledge is yours. So all these things, like, yeah, I might have got it from someone that's not a believer, but I'm like, oh man, no, God's there. And so like, anyone that I kind of like did the camera thing last week or whatever, looking in the camera and telling dads to step it up and stuff. And so if you're
Do it again. Just do it again. That one.
Okay.
Do it again.
If you are at home, if you will not get a job, go get a job. Like start work. Men, go work. Show your boys and your daughters how to work. Do it well. Don't make it your obsession. Don't make it your like idol, like Andrew said. But like, do it well because you're growing. You're growing in something. Go do that. You were created to do it. Like, and moms that stay at home, your work is really vital. Like you are holding the household together. It's not, and like people and women that work outside of the home, you're doing really good things too. Like it's not, there's no comparison. I think all work is good, especially when we're doing it to glorify God. So go work and sweat, get cut up, and remember what is to come, which is to rest in God, but also we are going to be gardening. We are going to be cultivating the garden. We're going to be cultivating the kingdom, and we're going to be loving it. It's not going to be a big deal anymore because we see the promise fulfilled. That we're with our Father, we're doing good work. So you can do good work now and not complain about it. And you can do good work for people to see Jesus. So go do that. Do those good things. And don't complain.
Please.
I'm talking to me. So we don't need the complainers. Blah, blah, blah. Wine and diners. As Trump would say. Wine and diner. Are we done?
We're done.
Are we all done?
Done.
Cool.
Stick a fork in it.
Fork. Psh.
Father, Son, and Spirit, give us a heart to care for those in the margins, to show grace to those who are difficult, and to love all we come in contact with. Amen.
Oh, yeah. This has been Outsiders Podcast. You will see us next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. We love you.
Bye.